Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Elite Racing Network here for our production of the third race here of the SMRI Productions Grand National Series for the Elite Racing League. The 2021A season qualifying has just got underway here at the virtual Iowa Speedway. 0.88 mile, D-shaped short track oval here. Definitely going to put on a really good show as you're watching here. Josh Personette get going around. Josh Robin on the top of the leaderboard right now. This is the Hopegivers International 150 laps, 131.25 miles. Alongside me running productions and doing a little bit of color commentary next to me is Jordan Owens. Jordan, I know you have some experience on this racetrack throughout the various Elite Racing League series. What do you think you're going to see here coming in tonight?
Well, if we're looking at the practice screen, we're going to be in for a real close race. I think it's going to come down to long run speed, though. You know, the track wears out tires here real quickly, so we'll just have to wait and see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting track as it compares to others. When you look at a Martinsville or a Bristol, you expect a caution-filled race on an iRacing race, but here at Iowa, they tend to be very, very clean races. I remember last season's Cup Series race here, the JoinAPS.com Cup Series on the Elite Racing League. We only had, I think, one caution.
Yeah.
So this race, historically, is very clean. So far in qualifying, the short track legend himself, Ryan Lutz, but only by 1/1000th of a second over Josh Robin, has the top spot, the provisional pole. Still a good amount of cars left to go. And on top of the feature race, we actually have a heat race because only 43 cars are going to make the show. We have 47 currently registered for this race, so we more than likely will see a heat race. So this is going to be interesting how all of this could possibly play out. Nick Massey goes third on the charts. That's a good qualifying effort by him. You're watching Damian Leininger for Lake Norman Motorsports out of turn 4 in the number 12 car. He's coming to complete his lap, but definitely a good race in the future here at the Iowa Speedway. I know this race, it could provide anything, multi-groove long run racing, or maybe we do see a race with some caution flags thrown in there. It's going to be a really big field and a very competitive one, as you were saying, Jordan. I mean, in practice, I think 30 cars are separated by like 2/10.
Yeah, if that. Honestly, I'm hoping we see some good green flag runs just so we can see some strategy play out. I think it'd be interesting to see because I know last season in that Cup race there was a bunch of different pit strategies that played out throughout that race.
Yeah, I remember I was on the short end of the stick there. I decided to go for a short pit strategy right before the one and only caution came out, and that's the risk that comes through with the long run race, especially at a short track, where if you try to short pit and you're going to end up going possibly 2 laps down, depending on where you are on the racetrack, with how quickly you're getting around, as it's 24-second lap times. If you short pit and get stuck a few laps down and a caution comes out before you can make back that time, I mean, you're in some deep trouble, and that really put me in for a bad finish, as the one and only caution put me into a deep hole, as you're seeing Hank Steinmiller there spin out of turn 2. But looks like qualifying coming to a close here. Ryan Lutz, by only 1/1000th of a second, has stolen the pole from Josh Robin, who will start on the front row alongside pole sitter Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, that's a great lap from Robin. He wasn't that high up on the practice sheets.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid time indeed. So Ryan Lutz on the pole. Josh Robin will start second, but coming up here is our heat race. So it's 3 laps, and 3 cars go to the feature. We'll see how many exactly are starting. So the top 40 from qualifying were locked in, which puts the rest of these guys not in. And there are 6 guys that made a qualifying time that did not lock in on speed. Scott Haney qualified 40th. Everyone behind there, we have Casey Hatch, Ethan Reasoner, Zishan Dura, Zach T. Evans, Corey Abbott, and Brent Jones, who all made times that are going to have to race their way in through this heat race. We also have Harrison Talon, who never set a qualifying lap. Not sure if we'll see him attempt. I saw his name disconnect, so we're going to have to see if he actually decides to make an attempt here. He might be having some issues.
Yeah, I actually think he's just in the session to watch. He's still on a league suspension currently.
Oh, that is correct. That is a good point you brought up there. But right now, still 3 cars on the grid, so this might be it. This might be our last 3 cars that make the field there: Hatch, Reasoner, and Zishan Dura.
Yeah, I think they're just going to be going around at a slower speed, because I'm pretty sure we were just taking the fastest 43 tonight, and this was the only way that iRacing allows us to do that and still let other people try and qualify in.
Yes,
So,
you are correct. League admin Chad Frankfield's talking about that right now, making sure that everything is clear. And yes, you are right. So not qualifying for the event: Brent Jones, Corey Abbott, Zach Evans. Man, too bad for Zach Evans. Ran a lap within, I think, 7/1000ths of a second off of Zishan Dura's time. And that's the difference between making the race and not. So it's Hatch, Reasoner, and Dura making the show here in the last 3 spots. So we're going to go around just 3 quick pace laps here. And while we do that, I wanted to give a quick shout out to Hopegivers International. This is the Hopegivers International 150. They also sponsored the race at Daytona, the season opener.
While this race is going on, we'll go ahead and we can give a shout out to Richmar as well. We'll go ahead and play an ad by them.
Richmar Florist makes every day a special day. From weddings and large events to that little something for any occasion. Richmar Florist has the perfect floral expression, and they're open online 24/7 at richmarflorist.com. Everywhere, every day. Richmar's 2 retail locations offer a fantastic selection of floral creations, gifts, and home decor. Book your free consultation in our showroom for your special event needs, and visit us online at richmarflorist.com today.
All right, well, we're back. Ryan, I don't know. What are you looking forward to most tonight? You've got more experience running around here than I do, so.
Yeah, I'm hoping for a good, clean race. I know it was the good, clean race that ruined me last season, but of course, that's what most guys look for out of a race, especially at a short track where maybe you won't see a good, clean race all the time. This is definitely a track that can produce one. So the green flag's going to come out here. Yes, this is just going to be slow speeds. Are going to keep their positions here. But, yeah, definitely hoping for a good, clean race. I mean, I think it's very much possible we're going to have a really good field of cars here. You know, when you have a field bigger than what we can fit, only the best of the best are going to make the show. So definitely some talented guys going to be out here running this race. So and some guys that qualified or practiced well wound up qualifying further toward the back. I know there's a couple guys further back that I didn't expect to be. Tyler Fodey, one included, is toward the back of the field, as well as Chad Frankenfield. David Tooker qualified, I believe, all of them outside of the top 20. Jeff Green as well, another one to mention. That's going to be starting pretty far back, so expect them to be moving through the field, especially I know Tyler Fodey is the guy you got to mention when it comes to the long run speed. He's the guy within my team there in the Cup Series, Lake Norman Motorsports. He definitely knows how to save his stuff better than anyone on that team, in my opinion. He always is there at the end of a long run race, and this falls right into his wheelhouse. Even though this may not be a track he's that good at, if it goes long in a long run, he'll be there.
Yeah, I was thinking if we end up with some green flag runs, we could be looking at drivers like Fodey and Chuck Sweeting always comes to mind. Really good at saving tires.
Yeah, this definitely could be anybody's race here. Whether the race goes long, short, we'll have to see how it runs out.
Well, speaking of Jeff Green, we got him here to give the call for the command for the fire engines tonight.
Hi, I'm Jeff Green, 2000 Xfinity champion. On behalf of C2 Freight Resources, gentlemen, start your engines.
There you have it. Sounds like a few drivers fired them prematurely.
And we have fired him up now. It is definitely a tough thing to do here with trying to sync everyone up. We usually have somebody who calls out the fire engines over the race chat. And here we go, though. It is time to get this thing underway. 150 laps, not too long of a race. I think the Cup race here last season was 250, so it should be a pretty short race. 150 laps. Ryan Lutz is on the pole. Josh Robin starting in the second position. Ought to be a good race. Chris Wright starting in third has had a pretty good start to his season. Then you got Nick Massey, Ethan Barrell, Vincent Isabella, R.C. Enerson starting seventh. He won the Cup race at Auto Club, California back on Wednesday. Damian Leininger, Andrew Rucker, Johnny Thomas, and further back in the field you can see everybody else. 43 cars start the race. We had 4 cars go home. Again, those cars going home are Corey Abbott, Zach Evans, Brent Jones. They were the go-homers there and did not make it into the field on speed. So we come down to one more lap to the green. Here, Ryan Lutz on the pole. Finished second last week at Michigan. And that was his only race of the season so far, I do believe, because he did have COVID-19 back at the start of the season, which had him in a way where he was not able to compete.
Yeah, we got a lot to look forward to here in these first few laps. We got Chad Frankenfield 36, David Tooker in 37. You know, they're going to be hustling for as many spots as they can get before they get spread out here.
Yeah, definitely some really quick cars. Got to make their way through the field. Tyler Fodey won at Daytona. He's locked into the playoffs already with that win. So is Ethan Birrell, who starts up in fifth. But here we go. Pace car is going to drop by the pit lane. And the Hopegivers International 150 here on Elite Racing Network is green flag. Ryan Lutz to the point.
Yeah, he got a pretty good jump. Looks like Robin's going to slip down the inside too if he wants it.
Yeah, Josh Robin is clear in front of Chris Wright in the 69 car as they head down the back straightaway for the very first time. A lot of guys getting real close to that exit of turn 2 wall, but clean through 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. You see the multi-groove racing really comes into play through 3 and 4. Some guys can work that bottom line a lot better than others. And I remember in the Cup race last season, that was one of the biggest advantage. I believe it might have been Jared Rexing was the guy that really could roll the bottom better than anyone else. And when it came down to a long run, it was really hard to pass unless you were Jared Rexing, who was running that inside line, passing guys just time after time on the bottom of 3 and 4. Ethan Barrell caught the wall at a turn 2 there early in the race to make a mistake like that. And that right side of that car already with a little bit of damage as the battle for second now is on. Look at Nick Massey in that number 48 car moving up in a second.
Yeah, that was a great pass by Massey. You know, 1 and 2, when you get real low there, there's so many bumps. It's really hard to be consistent, put together a pass.
Yeah, definitely is really tough, that corner. When you run too low or even too high, you'll catch those bumps. You got to put the car right in the middle of the racetrack. As you see these guys try to perfect time after time. Left side's right on or below that first dotted white line, about a groove and a half off the bottom. But now Nick Massey up into second, and he's pushing hard here early as some guys might be trying to save tire. But Nick Massey definitely pushing pretty hard here, trying to reel in Ryan Lutz, who has driven away to a lead of about 7/10 of a second.
Yeah, they're putting a pretty good gap on third place on back. But looks like Harold may have hit the wall, but it didn't slow down too much.
Yeah, he's still hanging in there. Luckily on these short tracks, damage like that really won't affect you as bad as it would at a larger track. So Barrell should be all right in the long run. He'll get that damage fixed when we get to our first round of pit stops. So he's looking all right so far. Also want to mention Thomas Sherman, who qualified 15th, has not gotten going yet, so he still has not left the pit lane. He is in 43rd now, 3 laps down. Everyone else got going just fine, which is too bad. Sherman is definitely a competitor to make the playoffs.
Yeah, he's usually a top 10 threat just about every week. I know he'll be really disappointed with that.
So now completing 6 laps, Ryan Lutz continuing to lead. You see him running low here through 1 and 2 as he is getting reeled in slowly but surely. Actually lost 2.5 tenths there, which is quite a bit of time around this short of a track to reeled in Lutz that much in that one lap, so that's pretty impressive here.
Looks like he's going to gain a little bit more here too.
Yeah, he's definitely pushing really hard. I'm sure Lutz, well, maybe I'm not sure, but I think he's just taking it easy right now. He knows it's a long race. He knows this race could go green for a while. He's going to try and take care of his stuff here.
Trying to look back through the field, it looks like Tyler Fodey. Chad Frankenfield just now cracked the top 30. He's up to 29. So it's definitely going to be some comers and goers this entire race.
Yeah, interesting to see these guys toward the back of the field. Chad Frankenfield is a threat to win basically week in and week out, as so is Tyler Fodey. Even though this track may not be in Fodey's wheelhouse, you wouldn't expect him to be running 23rd. He's up 4 positions since the start, but still 23rd is not where you're used to seeing that number 40 car.
No, it certainly isn't. That's completely out of character for him to be that far back. But it just goes to show just how important qualifying is, how easy it is to lap up and put yourself in the hole before the racing starts.
Yeah, there's definitely some tracks where qualifying maybe doesn't matter so much, but this is one of them that it kind of does. At a track where the run can go really long and passing can become really tough, which is typical of a track where a higher line is the fastest, because if you're running up against the wall through 3 and 4, there's no way anyone's going to pass you on the bottom if they're using the slower line to try to pass you. So it makes it really tough, but like I said, this track really does provide really great multi-groove racing, especially through turns 3 and 4, and some guys are just able to roll that bottom a lot better than others, and that is a huge advantage when it comes to a long run like this and trying to pass guys.
Yeah, and I feel like in these cars specifically, it just becomes that much more of there's more freedom in being able to choose what line you want to run low down.
So now completing 12 laps is Ryan Lutz in the 36 Miss Goodies Goodies Chevrolet. He has led them all so far, and that's almost what he did in the Cup race last season. I think I led the first 3 or 4 laps, and then he passed me, because all I know how to do is qualify pretty much, and he passed me once I lost the lead. That was the end of it, and he drove away and led every single lap to the checkered flag. I think he led like 240 out of 250, so that was impressive, and I wouldn't be shocked to see another dominating performance here, but we always know these races are unpredictable, and even the best of the best at certain track types, like Ryan Lutz is at the short tracks, he can somehow bite himself and find himself in a bad finish.
I'm pretty impressed with Nick Massey here. He's managed to kind of hang on to Lutz for the most part. I mean, they've definitely gapped everybody else.
Yeah, it is impressive. He's actually still running laps faster, lap after lap, than Ryan Lutz. That time by, he was slightly faster again. Definitely not as much as it was earlier, where he was gaining a few tenths a lap, but now he's starting to slow down a little bit. Hopefully he didn't burn the tires off. But he's still putting up competitive lap times right now.
Yeah, and for those that are fans of Thomas Sherman, I hate to say it, he just messaged me and he's out for tonight with internet. But
yeah, it's an unfortunate thing in the world of iRacing where I guess it's sort of even, because in the real world you have real mechanical failures, where in iRacing you can't really have a mechanical failure. That just gets you unlucky, but we have the issues of internet and power outages and computer failures, and stuff like that happens, and it happens to some more than others, which is unfortunate. And Thomas Sherman is going to find himself finishing 43rd, but obviously a long ways to go here in this season. He could definitely pick up a win. He's got the speed. He does.
He'll come back. We got a pretty good battle with Andrew Rucker and Josh Robin here. Looks like Rucker's going to complete that pass, move on up to 6th place.
Yeah, that's a pretty good gaggle of cars there. Robin falling backwards here. Not sure if he's taking it easy or if he's kind of just falling off here, but started 2nd, and he has fallen back. Andrew Rucker's one guy I always notice at the beginning of races. He takes off. He doesn't save nothing. He just goes, and he's on the move here already, up from 9th to 6th. So Rucker is not one to lay back and let people go. He's going to fight you for everything, which he's looking good right now. But Robin is fighting back on the inside. Josh Robin has not given up on that battle.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how Robin's stint plays out. If he's actually going to stay retired this entire time or not.
Yeah, he just worked his way right back around Andrew Rucker. That was pretty impressive there by Robin to move himself back up to 6th, but Andrew Rucker not done yet. He's going to move back to the inside as these two continue to go at it. And into turn 3, Robin's clear.
Another one picking up quite a bit here is Josh Adams.
Yeah, Adams up from 23rd, and he just got around Caleb Thompson for 13th. That's 10 positions in 21 laps now. So impressive by Josh Adams. He's also another guy that's really strong here in these races. He can surprise you week after week. I know he was really strong at the Super Speedway at Daytona to start the season in all the series that he competed in. He was a threat to win the Cup race, the Daytona 500, and the SMRI Productions Grand National Series race here. He was a threat to win. Both of those came up just short, though.
And Tyler Fodey made his way up to 17 here.
Yeah, he's definitely moving. He's definitely moving forward faster than he was in the first 10 laps. I mean, he moved from 27th to 23rd in about the first 10 laps, and now he's found himself up to 17th, passing Brandon Key. So definitely some speed here as the run goes on for that orange. Not often you see that number 40 car orange, but the days gone by, Vintage Racing Apparel and Blue Egg Marketing Chevrolet there.
And I think we can give a shout out to Scott Crumb as well. He's had a very difficult couple of weeks dealing with his computer. Has finally solved his issues and been able to compete with us here in some races instead of lagging out.
Yeah, it's always a nice thing to not be lagging out. That's one of the worst things is when you're fast and then you lag out. And it's just everything goes to the wayside when you have a computer issue, and to get those solved. I know I had a couple a little while back with my computer, and getting them solved is just like a whole new ball game when you get your computer issues fixed or get an upgrade of some sort. It just makes a whole world's difference, and feel good for Haney now that he's back out there on even playing grounds with a better computer now.
We got a whole gaggle of cars back here around the podium.
Man, that's a mess there. Chad Frankenfield right in the middle of that. Matthew Weeks, Chuck Sweeting, whole bunch of guys. Jeff Green as well, right up in there. Richard Hines in the 87. They're going to be 3 wide here. That shows you the multi-groove racing at this racetrack is really amazing. As you see, Hines can rip the outside line. He can clear Chad going into turn 1, but he can't because he's got nowhere to go with 2 guys in front of him. Weeks is going to have a tough time there on the inside line, and so is Hines on the top. Chad's going to be in real good shape running the middle line through 1 and 2, but Hines is still hanging in there on the top. Chad's clear. Is he going to try to jump in front of Hines? Looks like he will. Man, that looks like a real fun battle going on right there.
Yeah, it's
Brandon
amazing
Key.
that we're battling this hard for 22nd place.
Yeah, exactly. For 22nd on lap 27.
And this is about 11 seconds off the lead.
Yeah,
Back
impressive
up front.
racing there. Yeah, it's getting awfully close. I was just keeping an eye on this battle here, and Nick Massey is still reeling in Ryan Lutz, just slightly faster. He lost a little bit there last time. Looks like he just got a little loose out of turn 2 as well, but Nick Massey looking awfully strong. And looking at the leaderboard here, I have on my my telemetry, he has an I rating of 41.74, so that's a really respectable I rating. Same with Chris Wright. These guys are at least new to me in the Elite Racing League, but definitely have the high I rating to prove that they've got speed. So look for Nick Massey and Chris Wright to be threats out there, because they definitely look like they've got good driving ability here, as Nick Massey is hanging right in there with the best of the best on the short tracks of Ryan Lutz. And we got a battle for third going on too. R.C. Enerson and Chris Wright going at it.
Yeah,
Enerson up into third. Yep, he got there on the outside of 3 and 4. So move the Cup winner R.C. Enerson up into the third. One on Wednesday night at Auto Club.
Yeah, I noticed something with Massey. The first part of this run, he was right on the bottom. Oh, there he goes, straight back to it. He's following Lutz. When we were on him earlier, he had moved back up to the wall. So he's definitely out there searching for time.
He is definitely, that's another thing I've noticed. He's been adventuring all over this racetrack. See, Lutz run the middle there through 3 and 4. Massey ran a top to middle line through there, so he's trying something different about every time. Ran the bottom through 1 and 2 here last time. Looks like he's going to run there again as Lutz goes a little higher. But these guys are still adventuring around for grip. I remember with the Cup race here last season, that's what we spent the most of the race doing. I remember Lutz adventured around, and I'd ask him, how was it doing? And he was giving me all sorts of different answers, running top, bottom, middle. You see them running different lines. These guys running completely opposite lines, and they're both running really close speeds here. But Massey continuing to reel in Ryan Lutz.
Yeah, this is shaping up to be a great battle for the lead.
For sure is. And I remember the pre-race discussion there with some of the drivers. We're talking about pit strategy. If this thing does go green for a while, it's more than likely a one-stop race. You can make it on one stop to the end. You can do a lot of laps on gas, and you're going to stretch it to do one stop versus maybe splitting it into 2 stops. But it's going to be a one-stop race if it goes green, but obviously all it takes is a caution to foil any plans of a pit strategy.
Yeah, this could get real interesting soon. With as quick a pace as they're setting, they're going to be catching the tail end of the field here shortly.
Yeah, Mark Keeler currently running 42nd will be the first lap car. He's about 3/4 of a straightaway ahead of these leaders. It'll be a few more laps till they get there, but they are definitely catching lap traffic as we complete 34 laps. And the fastest car on the track, I'm watching lap after lap. Who's running the quick times? Tyler Fodey, quickest car last time by here in the 40 car. So he's definitely on his way forward.
Venture back to him. Back here 14th, about 9 seconds off the lead.
Yeah, Tyler Fodey, 27th to 14th. One of the biggest movers of this race is for sure Tyler Fodey. Also, Josh Adams has moved from 23rd now to 8th as he continues to pick off just car after car every lap. That car is moving another position forward. Scott Crumb, 25th to 15th. Chuck Sweeting, 28th to 18th. Gerald Campbell, 20th to 16th. So some guys definitely moving forward here as this battle for lead getting close. As they get around the lap car, Mark Keeler in the 08 now goes 1 lap down in the Speed 51 car. I like how these guys run different lines through 3 and 4. I see Massey running a higher entry, but he brings it down from the top to the middle on exit when Lutz runs dead in the middle of the track all the way through 3 and 4. These guys run pretty identical lines through 1 and 2 from the middle to the bottom. But then through 3 and 4, let's see if they do the same thing here again. Oh, no, now watch this. Lutz, they're going to do the complete opposite. Now Massey on the bottom, and Lutz keeps it up on the 3rd groove. So these guys are running complete opposite lines, lap after lap.
It's just fun to watch them pick different lines and still be just as fast. I mean, they're still gapping the rest of the field. They brought their
really impressive. Yeah, they definitely did. It's impressive seeing these guys doing what they're doing. Now you see Lutz run the bottom and Massey run up top. Like Lutz running right against that first dotted line, but Massey running the 3rd line. He's going to have a good run down the front straightaway here. Still not close enough to make a move, but all it takes is one mistake by Ryan Lutz, and he has found himself out of this lead. But look at Massey right there on the back bumper. This thing is looking like a good battle here as they get nose to tail. R.C. Enerson in 3rd is 2.1 seconds back. They're both going to run the top line here through 3 and 4.
Massey's still just searching for that extra bit of pace to get under him.
Yeah, Josh Adams that time by ran a flyer of a lap, a 48, 25.48, was 0.2 faster than our top 2. So Josh Adams also has some really good long run speed. Still watching him move field as well. He is 6.5 seconds or so back of the leader, but making it ever closer lap after lap.
Yeah, ideally for him, he's in free air right now, open track. He's got about a second behind Rucker, so he can just play down a lot of laps. Our leaders are coming up to lap another car.
Yeah, that's Matt Nickel in the double. It's scored as a 00, a custom, at least on my screen. I'm seeing a custom 27. Ooh, he's going to get widened into the wall right in front of these leaders, but that's going to work out for him as he's going to be out of the way. Lutz and Massey get by without issue.
that's going to be the one thing to worry about for these guys running up front when they catch these lap cars. Where are they going to go? Can you trust them to hold their line? It's going to be difficult.
Yeah, that's exactly right, especially at a track like this with its multiple grooves. Sometimes a lap car will ask, where do you want me? Or sometimes they won't, and you'll have no idea where they're going when you get to them, and they'll either go to the bottom, the top, which is where you want them, or maybe it's where you don't want them. But man, Nick Massey's right there. He could have a shot here into turn 3. Here he goes to the inside into turn 3, making the move on Ryan Lutz for the lead. Massey's got it glued to the bottom here through 3 and 4. Lutz is going to have a real good run on exit. Let's see how that 48 keeps it stuck on the bottom. Not good enough. He really didn't have much of an option there making the move into turn 3 other than sticking it on the bottom. He could have maybe pinched Lutz up toward the wall there into turn 3 if he wanted to, but he did not. And we also have a report here. Josh Robin has disappeared from the racetrack. He has blinked out for a while now, and he's lost a lap on my scoreboard, so we might have lost Josh Robin here. So internet issues for Josh Robin. That's a real shame. Qualified second. He was fading, but still running well inside the top 10. Man, Robin started second and now is scored 42nd, 2 laps down and off the track. He might have lost connection with the race.
It certainly seems that way. That's unfortunate. He's having a very good run.
Yeah, it's very unfortunate there for Robin, but it's like Thomas Sherman. He's got a lot of weeks left, and he won a race last season. I believe he won Richmond. That was one of the better races of the season, and he was able to steal that one. That's a track that Iowa reminds me of a lot in the fact that not only they're similarly shaped short tracks. I know Iowa's slightly bigger, but the way they race is very clean. They're very weird short tracks where the races don't have a ton of cautions.
Yeah, and Richmond's kind of a little. There's a second lane there, especially on long run. So they are very similar. That would explain Robin having such good pace.
Yeah, that would. They're very similar tracks, and that would explain that because Robin won there last season and qualified so well tonight. But unfortunately, 42nd, he definitely can still, his thing just said receive throughput fell to an unacceptable level, which is iRacing code word for you lagged out. So Josh Robin, he has the option to come back, of course, and get back on the track, but he's now multiple laps behind, and he's losing lap after lap here as we watch the top 2 click off more laps as they are catching Scott Haney and Casey Hatch on the front straightaway here as we complete 49 laps. We're still pretty far into this race. We're a third of the way in now, 101 laps to go, and it's going by pretty quick, but we do have a pit stop that has to happen here under green if we don't get a caution.
Yeah, we'll give a quick shout out to Casey Happs here. You can see he's in the U.S. Army car. He's actually headed out for boot camp here soon. He joined the Army. This will probably be one of his last races before that.
Yeah, I heard about that. It's good for him to go out there and serve, so happy to hear that and wish him the best. Of course, he's from, I believe he's from New Hampshire. I'm a Massachusetts guy, and I go up to New Hampshire a lot. So it's cool to see him, one of the few local New England guys here in the league. I know myself, Hatch, and there's a couple others out there from New England. So it's cool to see them out here competing, and great to see Hatchie do that and go out and serve.
Yeah, we definitely wish him the best.
Scott Haney goes a lap down. Now that brings it to 38 lead lap cars. Casey Hatch is the last one. Scott Haney now in that lucky dog position, but not for long as Lutz is creeping up on that number 14 car. But man, Nick Massey made one move for it, but couldn't get it done. And also I want to mention R.C. Enerson now only 1.4 seconds back. Actually 1.1 seconds at the line that time. So R.C. Enerson is coming in closer and closer lap after lap. He didn't gain too much that time by, but a couple laps ago, I think it said he gained about a 1/10.5 in a single lap. So he's definitely got some long run speed here in the 50 car.
Yeah, that's why I panned to him. He's starting to come into the picture. And looks like Josh Adams, he just pulled off a move on Rucker to move up to 6. And,
on that same lap, he ran the fastest lap of the race as he passed Andrew Rucker. So Josh Adams, 23rd, now up to 6th. And he just put out another fast lap. Him and Fodey are the only guys that just ran a sub 25.6.
Yeah,
and they're
Fodey's
flying right now.
Top 10 now, too.
Yeah, Fodey and Adams are flying right now. But Ryan Lutz is going to be hard to pass. I mean, we've seen Nick Massey sit here since the start of the race, and he's not been able to get it done. He has made a move. He's been stuck there, running all the different lines, trying to give himself clean air and everything, but it's just going to be really hard to get by.
Yeah, and what a fantastic run by all these drivers. I mean, we're 55 laps into the race, and there hasn't been any issues at all so far. It's just clean racing.
Incident-free so far. Mark Keeler just brought it down pit lane here for a pit stop. He is lap down, now 2 laps down in 41st. So still nobody has come in contention here up front. So I don't expect there to be, I believe I heard people saying it's a one-stop race, so they'll at least get it through, probably split the race in half. I'd expect guys to pit probably around the halfway point.
Yeah, back here around 15. Still just a gaggle of cars. That's the same drivers, too. Chad Frankenfield, Matthew Weeks, Jeff Green, just been going through the field together.
Yeah, I'm sure they're sick. Oh, we got a battle for the lead here. Nick Massey made the move into turn 3. What I was saying is I'm sure they're sick and tired of seeing each other throughout this race. But, man, Nick Massey made the move into turn 3 on Lutz, but just like last time, didn't work out. Lutz ran the top and got the run on exit, and nowhere for Massey to go once he made the move, and he made it to turn 3 there. We'll have to see if he tries to make the move into turn 1, if he has the ability to, but I think what he's doing here is just if he's able to get a run or try to capitalize on a small skip in his step by Lutz, he's trying to capitalize on him and just make the move, and unfortunately didn't work again there into turn 3. That time by R.C. Enerson, fastest lap of the field there, a 1/10.5 he gained on Ryan Lutz. He's brought that lead down to almost nothing here. 0.8 of a second to the leader from first to third. And also, if you want to see what fresh tires will do, look at the 08 car of Mark Keeler, who I mentioned earlier, came down pit road just a couple of laps ago. He is out here passing our leaders, and he got lapped. I think he was the first guy that got lapped in the whole field. So that shows you what tires will do, is he's going to try and drive around Nick Massey, which is going to disrupt this battle for the lead a little bit, but it's what happens here. If you're going to take tires, you're going to fly by these guys, and he's doing a good job giving these guys plenty of room right now as he comes off of turn 4 under Ryan Lutz to get one of his laps back. He's currently 4 laps down, looking to go 3 down now, so he's now 3 laps down. Also, Josh Robin has reconnected and rejoined the race, 14 laps down in 40 seconds.
I was just about to say, he's back on the track. And, looks like Josh Adams here, he's been able to get around Ethan Gerald now, so he's up in the top 5.
And Josh, that's very impressive that Josh Adams has driven from that far back to only 5 seconds off the leader, and he started 23rd, and that time by, I think he just clicked off another fastest lap of 67. Him and Fodey are just back and forth running the fastest laps. Him, Fodey, and every once in a while Enerson will run the fastest lap on the track, but Fodey, Enerson, and Adams definitely have the long run speed, and they need to be watched here if this thing goes green to the end.
You get back up front, the battle's getting heated up again. It's going to be a 3-car battle this time around.
Yeah, the top 3, you could throw a blanket over them all as they run nose to tail, and on 3 different lines, though, at the same time. Lutz leads Massey, leads Enerson, and then you have to go another 3.5 seconds back to get Chris Wright in 4th. So strong run by all of those guys, though, for sure. Now watch Josh Robin here. He's looking to get one of his laps back. He's got 7-lap-old tires versus everyone else on 64-lap-old tires. So you'll see him fly by all 3 of these guys almost in one corner. That's how much more speed these tires have got. And this is a guy who qualified 2nd. And now we got Robin catching. It's Zishan Dura and Ethan Riesener. They're going to be 3 wide. Robin's going to easily get by them, but now you got Lutz catching them both. They're side by side. Riesener, he's very respectful here in this situation. He's going to bail out, and so is Zishan. He looks like he's going to try and move over. Oh, Lutz is going to make the move to the inside. See how confusing that gets. It looked like Zishan wanted to move low and let him go, but Lutz ended up making the dive bomb move under him, and lucky for Lutz, it worked out. And same with all of the top 3 get through all right. So now we have 35 cars on the lead lap. The last of them is Nick Yeoman of IndyCar Radio. He is running this season, currently 34th. I remember he had a fantastic run at Daytona. I think he put his car within the top 10 for the most of that race, kept it clean, and I think he finished maybe even in the top 5, but don't exactly remember where he finished at Daytona. Yeah, he finished 4th, so that was a really impressive run at the Super Speedway, and now he has found himself going a lap down here to Ryan Lutz. We also have a couple guys hit the pit lane. Matt Nickel and Jeffrey Aroyan have come down pit road from the back of the field, so some strategy here as we close in on halfway.
RC, he's pressuring for the lead here.
Yeah, Enerson has gotten around Nick Massey, and just like that is under Ryan Lutz, really tight there in 1 and 2. Enerson right on where those really bad bumps are on the bottom of 1 and 2, can't get it done. Lutz is just going to try and hold them off until they come down pit road, as Brandon Key has now hit the pit lane from within the top 25, I believe he was running. So now Ryan Lutz having to play defense on Enerson here as we close in on the one and only green flag pit stop of this race, as I'm sure coming in the next few laps.
Yeah, this is going to be an important part of the race for everyone to try and get on and off pit road cleanly.
Here goes Enerson to the inside. I saw him run a really high entry and get himself a really good run on the exit of turn 2. He might have something for Lutz here. He's going to try and slide out of 2. Lutz, though, with that outside line, has a real big advantage getting on the power. He was not able to clear Enerson, though, so through 1 and 2, Enerson now with a good advantage on the bottom. But Lutz needs to have a good exit right here. If Enerson can draw even, which he does with Lutz, this could be the pass right here. As they come up on some lap cars, Caleb Thompson right in front of these guys. But RC Enerson has done it. We have a pass for the lead. RC Enerson to the point just shy of halfway. 72 laps into this race now. RC Enerson takes the lead, first lead change of the event.
Yeah, it was a fantastic pass. There he is. He's going to dip under Caleb Thompson and give him a lap down.
That was a real strong move by Enerson there, and look at Lutz now making the move on the bottom, but you can just see Enerson has a lot more speed in the 50 car. He's looking strong. He's looking to run away with this thing, and he's hoping this run goes just a little longer so he can increase that lead with the better tires he has right now.
Yeah, and you know these guys are going to want this race to stay green with Fodey, Frankenfield, Green coming through the field, and Adams.
Yeah, a lot of guys. You got to mention Frankenfield 36th to 13th, Jeff Green 32nd to 14th, Chuck Sweeting 28th to 12th, and Ethan Birrell from 6th position has hit the pit lane. That's the first guy within the top 15 cars has pitted. So Ethan Birrell going with the short pit strategy. He is on the pit lane.
RC starting to gap Lutz a little bit here.
Yeah, he is. He definitely saved his tires better than anyone that started within the top 10, as he is driving away from Ryan Lutz. Puts the gap to over 0.6 of a second that time by as they get through a couple more lap cars. David Westergreen in the 22 is the next one in 30th. But definitely looking good right now is RC Enerson on this long run. Ryan Lutz and Nick Massey begin to fade here as there's Chad Thornquist going into pit road, as well as David Carpenter. So there's a couple more takers into the pit lane.
We are halfway now.
Yes, that is correct. We are officially halfway. Unfortunately for Lutz, as he's looking for all the points he can get, of course, is if he were to lead through the halfway, he would have locked the bonus point for most laps led, but since he lost it, he just needs to lead a couple more to clinch it, because he'll lead more than half the race. But Enerson, if he were to theoretically lead every lap from now to the checker, he would steal that from Ryan Lutz, that most laps led bonus, but even that is still unlikely with the speed he's got. A couple more have come in. Gerald Campbell, Caleb Thompson in pit road.
You can see what fresh tires do here. The 34s can scoop by both of them here.
Now we'll get over a full second over Ryan Lutz. Green's in. Some of the guys that drove the front one of them at least being Jeff Green, has made a pit stop. Now, what these guys short pitting is exactly what happened before what happened in the Cup race here last season was no caution until and everyone else comes down pit road. I want to make sure I'm back on the lead lap in the Cup and trap. That's what they're all thinking. And oh, I jinxed it. One round in turn 2.
Ooh, that's Keeler.
Is Mark Keeler in the throw to get turned to turn 2. Man, that's the first time in a while anything out of caution. Right when I do, the curse strikes again. Mark Keeler around in turn 2.
Yeah, and that's going to change the whole complexion of this race since we already had people pitting.
So you remember Mark Keeler had come down pit road earlier in the event, earlier than anyone else, around like the lap 55 or 60 mark. So he still had fresher tires and was passing some guys, and he made a move on Johnny Thomas. Slid up in front of Johnny's nose, and Johnny got into his back bumper, and around he went. Looked like he tried to pull a slide job on Johnny, and unfortunately, Johnny wasn't able to check up. And man, R.C. Enerson, our leader, was about an inch from T-boning that 08 car.
Yeah, he did good to get it on the binders quick to not just take him out.
But a single car spin off the nose of Johnny Thomas brings out our one and only caution so far, past the halfway point now, as R.C. Enerson leads the train into pit road. But who that kills is everyone who made a pit stop, especially Ethan Birrell, Jeff Green, Brandon Key, Gerald Campbell, some big names that are trapped 2 or 1 lap down. Birrell luckily came in enough laps ago he was able to get one of his laps back, so he's only 1 lap down.
Yeah, where it gets real tough is for the drivers that went 2 laps down. It almost completely ruins their entire race. It's
a tough break there. Also wanted to mention a lot of damage on the nose of Andrew Rucker. I'm not sure where he got that. He was still running within the top 10. But there's a heavy damage to that car. But the race off pit road looks like everything going to remain about the same.
Yeah, Rucker definitely got into somebody there. He's got some right rear damage too. He might have got a piece of the wall.
Nick Massey lost a bunch of spots on pit road. It's going to move Chris Wright up to 3rd. And then Josh Adams 4th, Tyler Fodey 5th, Nick Massey 6th, Rucker 7th, Crumb 8th, Steinmiller 9th, and Brian Blauman, I believe, will be 10th. We'll have to see the official standings once they come across the line here. But it will be R.C. Enerson, your leader.
Well, I think we just had a brilliant start to the race. Over halfway without a caution. It's not too bad.
Definitely not. That was a really strong start to this race. Nick Massey must have an issue or something. He's back down pit road. That was the car that ran the majority of the race in 2nd. Now 3rd when the caution came out. He is back down the pit lane. He must have had a penalty or something because he might just be coming down to top off. So maybe a penalty or an issue there for Nick Massey. That's a real shame because he was running in the top 3 from the get-go.
Yeah, it looks like he's taking tires again, too. I'm not too sure what happened there.
Not exactly sure what's going on there. These guys have 4 sets of tires, so 3 in the pits. So there's plenty of tires here for this race, so maybe he forgot to click them on or something. Also, we just got an EOL for Hank Steinmiller in the 63 for some sort of incident with Andrew Rucker, maybe where Rucker got his damage. I think it happened right after the caution, actually, so it was actually on pit entry this incident happened. I'm not sure what was going on there, but Hank Steinmiller got into Andrew Rucker under caution is what the issue was there.
Yeah, that's a bummer. He's going to be at the back of the line, behind even the lap traffic, too. There'll probably be a bunch of wave arounds here, but so.
Yeah, there's definitely a ton. There's probably a dozen, 15 cars maybe lined up for wave around here. Those are all guys that came down pit road right before the caution, so they have fresh tires, slightly less fresh than those who just came down pit road under the caution. So that's one of their disadvantages, on top of the fact that now they've got to take the wave around, and that might either get them back at least on the lead lap or 1 lap down, which now they're in need of cautions. So this is the exact same thing that happened to me on the Cup race here last season was I got a caution right after I decided to try and short pit the field, and then I got stuck 2 laps down, got I think one of them back, and then I was on older tires. There was never another caution, so it just puts you in a really tough position. And the way this race has been going, we may not see another caution, so we'll have to wait and see how it plays out. Unfortunately for me, last season in the Cup race, I did not get one, but every race is different, so we still got a ways to go here to see if we get another caution or not, if these guys can rebound, especially Ethan Birrell, who has speed and needs to work his way back to the front.
Yeah, I was just about to say, now we're going to have some more people to watch starting at the back of the field. Ethan's one of them. He had top 5 pace.
Pace truck is in, and we are coming to the green flag. R.C. Enerson leads the field to the green. He gets a real good jump on Lutz, who he kind of changed lanes a little. We'll have to see what the admins think about that. That was a little close, but into turn 1, he had a really big lead. Oh, but Lutz with a rocket ship out of turn 2 on the outside. Pulls it up to the right rear. Enerson, man, he had a really good run there through 1 and 2. He knows Enerson has the long run car, so he's going to try to pounce on him here where tires are fresh and it's easier to pass. And here goes Lutz. Ryan Lutz takes the lead back on lap 85.
Yeah, now we're going to get to see what Josh Adams can bring to the table now that he's got some track position.
Here comes Chris Wright up to the back bumper to Enerson, who is struggling here on the short run.
Yeah, it looks
Chris
like it
Wright
takes him a couple laps to get going.
Yeah, cold tires can definitely be an issue, and R.C. Enerson looks like he was struggling there a little bit on the cold tires. He's got Chris Wright all over his back bumper.
We got Tyler Fodey now in the top 5.
Yeah, Fodey and Adams both on the move. Started outside of the top 20. Adams 23rd, Fodey 27th, and definitely on the move back to the front. There's the battle for second. Chris Wright on the inside of Enerson through 1 and 2. See, Enerson has a little bit of damage on the right ear. Not sure if he's had that the whole time or not. I don't know if he kissed the wall recently or what, but he does have just the slightest bit, and caution is out. Oh, we have a massive pileup in turn 1 involving Nick Yeoman and multiple other cars. Chad Thornquist. Wow, Nick Yeoman's car is crab walking like I've never seen before. But the caution is out. There was at least probably 4 or 5 cars involved in this one in turn 1 toward the rear of the field.
Yeah, blinked out on me. I'm not able to find a good replay for us.
It's started with the 92 of Chad Thornquist. Looks like he checked up a little hard into turn 1 for a car cutting in front of him. Was Caleb Thompson. Casey Hatch, who had nowhere to go, turned the 92 with Thornquist. Jeff Green with heavy damage. Man, Nick Yeoman went for a wild ride.
Yeah, his car is looking pretty rough for wear right now.
Yeah, that was strange looking, the way that Thornquist spun, and he caught Yeoman in the left rear, and Yeoman's car went airborne and into the catch fence in a really weird way, like the rear suspension and everything is broken, as you can tell by the way the car is going down pit road. It is pointed to the right a little too far. He's got the wheel cranked about 90 degrees to the left trying to drive this thing in a straight line, so
yeah,
Nick Yeoman with heavy damage might be in trouble here tonight.
He did good just to get to pit road without having to get a tow.
He nearly had the wreck miss, and then he just got clipped in the left rear, and it flung him up into the on top of the wall and broke the rear.
Looks like Scott Haney's going to get the free pass here.
And all those guys that got waiver rounds are breathing a sigh of relief. That's exactly what they wanted, because now they can all come in, get their tires to be even with the rest of the field, actually be at a slight advantage now that the field's done a couple laps. Especially those guys that got back on the lead lap, which Ethan Birrell is one of them. So he'll be back in good shape on even tires as everybody else if he is to come down pit road. A couple guys are still stuck 1 lap down, but they'll be able to get back on fresh tires. Brandon Key, Gerald Campbell, Caleb Thompson, all among those with 1 lap down that are going to be able to come down and get tires. Thompson, I know, just got some damage, though, so we'll have to see how he does here. throughout the rest of this race. We're at 60 laps to go right now. We'll be green with less than 60 to go.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on Nick Massey. He made it back up to 17th there just on that little short run.
Also just wanted to give out a shout out to our premier sponsors here on the Elite Racing League and the Elite Racing Network. C2 Freight Resources offers complete freight management services. They are ready to meet your needs today as well as your changing needs in the future. With thousands of qualified carriers in their database, they're capable of handling shipping for every type of goods, from perishable foods to office equipment. Whatever you need to ship, they have access to the necessary equipment, including flatbeds, double drops, vans, tankers, refrigerated equipment, multi-axle heavy haulers, dump trucks, auto carriers, intermodal containers, and more. So I want to shout out to them, as well as you saw a Richmar Florist commercial there earlier. They are serving the Lehigh Valley and beyond since 1955, and they are definitely one of the most recognizable floral names in the racing world, whether it be sim racing or real life racing. Richmar Florist is definitely a well-known brand. And also wanted to shout out our race sponsor, Hopegivers International. This is the Hopegivers International 150 being promoted by Bird Racing, who we see racing in the IndyCar series every once in a while with their driver James Davison and others. Hopegivers International promotes advocacy for abandoned and at-risk children in the nations of India, Nepal, Myanmar, and Haiti. Their mission is to assist the needy and oppressed in collaboration with their ministry partners. They want to educate those we rescue and give them an opportunity to impact their culture in a positive way. So we want to thank Bird Racing and Hopegivers International for partnering with us here tonight in the SMRI Productions 150 from Iowa.
And here we are going into turn 3, getting ready to take the green.
It's going to be Ryan Lutz and R.C. Enerson on the front row. Lutz got the best of Enerson there on the restart in a big way, fighting back for the lead. And there was no penalty called on Enerson's lane change, but they do remind the field to watch the lane changes as we take the green flag. Ryan Lutz with a big jump. He is more than clear as they head into turn 1. Enerson going to have to hold off Chris Wright. Out of turn number 2, Chris Wright and Josh Adams side by side. Adams sliding out of turn 2, almost caught the wall. Not quite, and he's got to try to battle his way to get to the outside of Wright here as he runs right up against that third line. He's going to have a real big run here as we head towards turn 1. The 69er Wright keeps it low and gives Adams that top line into turn number 1. And as they head through run 1 and 2, Adams is looking strong here on this outside line. He might be in good shape if he can hold it together. He got loose, though, out of turn 2. We'll see if he can make something work here through 3 and 4. He's going to fall back into line in 4th position.
Yeah, it looks like that damage that Rucker got isn't really affecting him too much. He managed to work his way up to 5th.
Yeah, I noticed the same thing. That is really impressive because the nose of that race car is all sorts of torn up. He had the 63 Hank Steinmiller get into him on pit entry, but still racing strong here. He's going to be able to salvage a good finish if he can hang on to it. We'll see how the damage fares. He didn't fix any of it. We saw him take his 4 tires and fuel and take off without fixing any damage. So we'll see how that goes. He's got Tyler Fodey behind him, who now on a short run is not showing as much speed as he did on the long run, but if this goes long, he definitely will find himself up in the top 5.
Yeah, we got Fodey in 6, Frankenfield in 8. David Tooker is up in the top 10 now. All these guys started 30th on back.
Yeah, Ethan Burrell as well. He's got to work his way from the back to the front now after that pit strategy that went against him with the one caution we had as Tyler Fodey makes his way to the inside into turn number 3 and 4. And he's going to barely clear Rucker out of 4, who gets all sorts of squirrely. And he's going to fall into the 6th position as Chad Frankenfield is looking to pick up a position here in the Richmar Esports number 15 Ford Mustang.
Yeah, Yeah, I don't think he's going to be able to make a move quite yet. He's setting them up for 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's awfully close to the back bumper of that 64 car. Not a good run, though, on exit there, as Tyler Fodey's going to try to drive away from these two. Doesn't want to be in reach of Andrew Rucker here as long as this race goes.
And it looks like back in the pack, Ethan Bill's now moved back into the top 20.
Yeah, he is moving forward pretty quick here in the 37 car. Last week's winner at Michigan, and he is locked in to the chase once it comes time.
And also moving up again here is Nick Massey, back up in 13th, I believe.
Man, that's very impressive. He restarted at the tail of the lead lap. He came in twice under the first caution we had. Had some issues on pit lane, and now he's got himself back in the game here, moving forward, looking to get into the top 10, running 13th now behind Chuck Sweeting.
Looks like things have stabilized up front here with about a half-second gap between Lutz and Anderson.
Yeah, Ryan Lutz trying to get all that short run speed to his advantage. Lucky for him, this last run is going to be shorter than the first one was. We are only going to do about 60 green flag laps here from the caution flag at lap 80 and the restart around lap 85. And then we had one more caution and got back going again. So this will be a shorter run than the opening run that was 80 laps. So lucky for Ryan Lutz, who maybe isn't as strong on the long run. He could be in good shape here.
Yeah, and all these guys should be able to go to the finish now, so we'll just see how it plays out.
Yeah, no more pit stops unless, of course, a caution comes out at a certain time. Guys are going to want to come in for a set of tires because the fall off is pretty steep. So staying out or taking two is really risky unless you're really, really late in the race, maybe a 2 to go restart, depending on how old your tires are and how you did saving them. But usually, if we get a decent amount of laps and then a caution, we're going to see everybody come in for 4 tires. But if it goes green to the end, this is to the end. It's going to be green and no pit stops. It's going to be flat out racing and saving your stuff. So we'll have to see how it pans out with the chance of a caution always being there.
Looks like David Tooker's made his way around Andrew Rucker. He's now up into 7th. He's been following Fodey and Frankenfield through the field.
Yeah, I think as the tires fall off, Rucker's damage is starting to bite him here. The more off-throttle time, he's starting to really fade here with that damage. He should still be able to hang on for a decent finish, but fading pretty quick as he's got Brian Blauman now on the inside of him making a move for 8th position. Good run there in the Jordan number 23 Chevy.
Yeah, we hadn't talked about him all night, but he's been in the top 10 pretty much since the drop of the green flag.
Definitely been a really strong run.
What a power move by Scott Crumb there.
Yeah, Crumb tried to make something happen there on the bottom. It looked strong, but unfortunately the run on the outside so strong that Crumb not going to be able to make it work. He gets by Rucker, though, and he is up in the 9th position now.
Chuck Sweeting's going to set his sights on Rucker next. This could be a painful drop through the field for Rucker if he's not careful.
Yeah, unfortunately, I don't see this going well for him with that damage. It's just going to get worse and worse as the night goes on and the tires get worse. He's going to be having a really aggravating race here. As it's the worst feeling in the world to just have the slightest bit of damage and there's nothing you can do about it. You're just going to fall through the field. Scott Crump making the move to the inside of Blauman. I don't think he's going to make it work. Blauman's going to get a really good run on exit. While the tires are fresh, it can be harder to pass there in 3 and 4 because the guys running the top line are at an even bigger advantage because they're easily able to get grip to the rear tires and get the power down. When if you're in a late run or a long run and your rear tires are starting to fall off, you're not going to be able to get in the gas that well because the tires are just going to spin and you're going to be all over the place. So that's what makes the bottom line a lot stronger when we get into a longer run if you save your tires good.
Yeah, we just saw Chuck Sweeting use that low line to perfection to get by Rucker. Now got himself to the top 10. Looks looks like Nick Massey's following him through.
Yeah, Massey making a charge back to the front here, now into 11th.
Back up front, more of the same.
Yeah, Ryan Lutz coming up on his teammate Hank Steinmiller here. He's 1 lap down with some pretty heavy damage. He got involved in that most recent accident, and now Ryan Lutz is getting ready to put him 2 laps down.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Steinmiller. He got that penalty and put himself back there. That's what can happen.
Also having some talk with the admins going on right now. Some issues for Damian Leininger in the 12 car. He's been running pretty solid all night within the top 20, top 15, but unfortunately he's been blinking quite a bit throughout the race, and it's getting kind of bad right now, so they're having discussions on whether or not to force him to move over and get out of the way, because Leininger is having some pretty serious internet issues right now, but
Yeah.
seems to have stabilized, but we'll have to see if they let him keep going, running 17th right now.
You can see it here on our screen. He actually blinked out once while we were on it. We'll have to keep an eye. Johnny Thomas dips under him.
Yeah, that's the worst thing, is when you're the guy blinking on the track, you do not want to give up. You want to keep going, just make everybody else deal with you. But when you're that everybody else and you've got someone around you blinking, it's the scariest thing on earth, is when someone's blinking and you're scared to even get close to them. You don't know where they are, and you're just begging for them to get off the racetrack. But you just don't want to. I mean, me especially, if I were to have a blinking issue, it would take a lot to get to convince me to get off the track or get out of your way. I'm just going to make you deal with it.
Yeah,
So I can't blame anyone.
It's a very helpless feeling. There's really nothing you can do about it, at least initially.
Yeah, while you're driving, there's nothing you can really do. I mean, unless there's an obvious problem that you know of, which is rare that happens. Usually you're blinking because there's something going on that you don't know of, or your Wi-Fi is just having a bad moment or something like that. And it's just an unfortunate situation that it's impossible to fix, really, when you're driving.
While we're back here, I'll give a call on Josh Clark. He's been having a lot of trading paint issues here lately, and actually he's loaded in as a Ford Mustang. He's normally a Toyota Supra. So.
Yeah, he's one of the Pro Edge racing guys, and that's the second time he's done that this season. He did it at Daytona, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he made
really
a point
confused
to tell me to mention that if I could, because I know he's did it by total accident.
Yeah, he did that back at Daytona as well. I was very confused, and I didn't mention it because I thought maybe he switched teams or something, and I just didn't know about it. But, yeah, no, that is the Pro Edge Racing usual Toyota, now a Ford, of Josh Clark.
All right, so we get back up front. We got Lutz starting to somewhat pull away. He's gained a couple of tenths on Anderson here in the last 5 laps or so.
Yeah, definitely not a major gap, but Enerson hanging in there fairly close, and if this goes green to the end, we know Enerson, I mean, if all happens just like it did in the first run, has a better long-run car. He's better at saving his tires. We'll have to see if he's able to. It's going to be close here if it comes down to the wire on a green flag run. We know Enerson has the speed, but if we start getting some cautions here, I think Lutz might be hard to pass.
Yeah, got a battle heating up for third now. Josh Adams hasn't been able to make it by Chris Wright yet. It's allowing Tyler Fodey to just ever closer to him.
Yeah, Fodey has got there to the back of these 2 cars. We know Fodey and Adams are going to be really strong here as this run goes on, and Chris Wright is going to struggle to hold them off. And here comes Adams. Wright's going to give him the outside into turn 1. He gave him all the room in the world there to enter on the high line. We'll see if Adams can do anything with it here through 1 and 2.
Got a good exit. See what he can carry into 3 and 4 here.
He drives it in really deep into turn 3. He's going to get a really strong run here out of 4. Let's see if Wright gives him the line. This is going to chop his nose off. Oh, but then he slides down. He didn't want to chop his nose off. He slid it back to the inside. So here comes Adams on the top. Fodey is just hoping Adams can get by him because he's trying to follow in suit with the 95 car. Into turn 3, Adams going to run a little bit lower here. He's trying to pinch Wright down to the inside while still getting the advantage of the exit run he's going to get here on top. And Adams is going to clear the 69 of Wright as they head through 1 and 2. Fodey is going to follow him too. He gets to the right rear quarter panel of the 69 out of turn number 2. Fodey now going to try to follow through into 4th.
Yeah, and he's not wanting to waste any time because he knows that each lap he spends back here, he's losing more and more time to Lutz and Anderson.
So Adams into 3rd. Fodey looks like he's going to get up into 4th here. Chris Wright might just need to bail out and get in line because, yeah, the next guy in line, Chad Frankenfield, also has the chance of reeling them in, but it's still a pretty big gap up to him. So Chris Wright looks like he's going to do just that. He's going to let Fodey get on by. Fodey should easily be able to clear him here out of turn number 4. So Chris Wright falls back into 5th, Fodey into 4th, Josh Adams 3rd. But the gap from 2nd to 3rd is really large right now. And the gap from 1st to 2nd as well has grown substantially within the last couple of laps. Ryan Lutz starting to run away with it here, coming to 25 to go.
It's got about a second or so on Anderson now. They looks like they're going to navigate their way by Mark Keeler again.
Pretty close battles happening from 7th through about 11th are pretty close to each other here. That's David Tooker on the outside right now. Brian Blauman trying to make a move on the inside of him for 7th. Tooker is on the outside, and then he's followed by Scott Crump, Chuck Sweeting, and Nick Massey, all battling really hard. Look at them, all 5 of them making big letter X there. We got 2 guys on the bottom, 2 on the top, and 1 in the middle as they run out of turn 4. Oh, man, Tooker got real loose up top there. He's having a really good, hard fight with the 29 Carl Blauman.
Yeah, this is a great battle here. Blauman's just putting together a great race. He's just quietly been taking care of his stuff, keeping it up in the top 10. He's had an impressive start to the season so far.
Yes, he has. And, man, Tooker dirt tracking it out of 4. He's going to try and cross over, and he moves Scott Crump out of his way, and, it's not going to work. Oh, he turns Blauman. I saw that coming. He tried to make a really aggressive crossover, and Tooker was pressured because Crump was on his left rear. He didn't want to bail early and get hit by Crump, and he drove it in there, and he turned the 29 around, and he took himself with him.
Yeah, no replay there. We were on it.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Really unfortunate. They're going to both move on, but we are really late in this race, so hard to bounce back now. But I expect everybody to come down pit road for tires. But, man, yeah, Tooker made the move to the inside, a really aggressive crossover. Crump moved over. He had to, or he would have turned himself across Crump's nose, and, man, Tooker turns the 29 around.
Yeah, he just got a little too aggressive going into 1 there. I mean, Crump cut him some space anyway, so...
Yeah, everybody was cutting Tooker some slack. Blauman made a really strong pass in 3 and 4 just before that happened, so it's really unfortunate because that 29 was making a really good run, putting together really good races. Everybody is on pit road, more than likely for the last time, as we're going to go green with less than 20 to go. So here we come.
Yeah, this is going to be good to see who wins the race on pit road. And all these drivers want to be mistake-free. No speeding penalties, keep your box clean. It's the highest pressure moment of the entire night for these guys.
Yeah, this is the stop. Everybody's on, taking 4 tires. And first one out. Oh, it's going to be real close. I think Lutz got it by a nose. Lutz, R.C. Enerson, 2nd. Move Tyler Fodey into 3rd. Josh Adams falls back to 4th. And then 5th is Chad Frankenfield. Chris Wright to 6th.
Yeah, that was a tough stop for Adams and Wright. And that just goes to show what, even like a half second of hesitation getting into your box can do.
Yeah, especially even missing your box is the worst thing. Just driving over it just the slightest bit, having to put the car in reverse, it's a killer. And can really put you back a few spots, especially on a caution pit stop where everyone's on top of each other. I wanted to mention also, Vincent Isabella took 2 tires and will line up 7th on the restart.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how that plays out. I can't feel like that's going to have a positive impact on his race.
I have to agree. He did the exact same thing at Auto Club on Wednesday night in the Cup race. Took 2 tires, or actually he stayed out at Auto Club and got involved in an accident that really wasn't of his own doing, other than the fact that he pulled the strategy and he put himself in that position. But unfortunately, he and Tyler Fodey, I remember, got together and they were both wrecked out of the race after that. So that was too bad. I remember Rexing, though, took 2 tires at Auto Club and he came home for 3rd. So that was a good strategy there. I don't know how well it's going to work for Vincent, though, restarting 7th here.
Yeah, we'll have to wait and see if if they even hold up for a couple of laps before people just start to eat them up.
Well, we're going to go green with only probably, I think it's going to be 17 to go. It's definitely going to be a shootout to the end here now, though.
Yeah, it's going to be hard for anyone to beat Lutz. He's just had that super quick pace from the drop of the green tonight, especially on the short run.
Yeah, I think he's in really good shape right now.
And this is the closest Fodey's been all night too, so we don't really know what kind of short run pace he has because he's spent the entire race working his way through the field.
Yeah, it's gonna definitely be really close here. We got a couple guys taking the wave around. I think it's Steinmiller, Thompson, Hatch. We got Key taking the wave around. There's the 31 at Campbell and a couple others taking the wave around. More than likely one last time, as I expect the leaders to remain on the racetrack with this set of tires to the checkered flag. But it's Lutz, Enerson, Fodey, Adams, and Frankenfield. Another thing I want to mention here is we got 2 teammates lined up on the inside with guys in the Lake Norma Motorsports camp, Lutz and Fodey. I bet you there's a good chance they're going to time that restart, and Lutz is going to tell Fodey exactly when he's going to try to get Fodey a good shot at Enerson here on the restart. And then Enerson has his teammate, Chad Frankenfield, back there in 5th. And then Josh Adams is a lone Ruthless Motorsports driver sitting in 4th. So we'll have to see how the teams work together here as we come to the green.
About to find out. Here we go.
And there they go. Bottom line, Fodey and Lutz get together and pass Enerson perfect. That timed restart is going to work out beautifully here. Fodey's got a shot to clear him. Enerson's hanging tough on the outside, though, on these fresh tires. Fodey almost clear into turn 3. Not quite. He's going to have to pull a big move here into turn 3. He runs the middle line, not quite on the bottom. Lutz is way up high. Enerson toward the middle. Oh, but Enerson got really loose. We got one spinning Nick Massey in the inside grass. No caution, I don't think, is going to come out for this one. No caution as Fodey and Enerson get together. Fodey turns Enerson around.
Oh, into Chad.
Frankenfield. The teammates get together after the spin, and he saved it. Enerson actually never went around. We're going to stay green.
Yeah.
But, man, I bet you Enerson's not going to like that one. Fodey got into him and turned him. Involved Chad Frankenfield as well, who lost multiple positions. He's now... Oh, and now Frankenfield has turned Scott Crumb, who also saves it into turn 1. They still have crashed and yet to crash at the same time. As we stay green, another one is spinning down the back straightaway. Holy moly, we got madness here throughout the field, and as all this happens, we stay green and Ryan Lutz runs away from the field.
Yeah, that was Marshall Stanley that got sideways. He gathered it back up, though.
He had about 3 wrecks that never actually had a wreck there in the span of a half a lap, so some madness breaking out there, but Tyler Fodey gonna run away with 2nd. Well, not quite, because Josh Adams still right behind him, trying to steal P2 here. 2 guys that have been real strong in the long run now have to battle it out on the short run.
Yeah, the real beneficiary there was Ron Lutz. It just takes all the pressure off him, giving him such a gap.
That's exactly right. He is now gone, and it's pretty much his race to lose now, especially if it goes green to the end. Even if he doesn't, he has a teammate right now in 2nd, which is really going to help him out. Hard battling going on right now to around 6th, 7th, 8th place. Sweeting, Frankenfield, Weeks, a couple other guys up there making a good battle.
Yeah, Frankenfield's going to be driving angry after that, too.
And we also got Marcus Frucknick up here in the 13 car. Haven't spoken to him much at all this race. in the 13. Marcus racing for Lake Norman Motorsports as well. Had some really good speed in practice. And he's been running around the 10th place this whole race, and he's got himself within the top 10 now, battling Matthew Weeks and Chad Frankenfield. And he put on a really good run at Auto Club on Wednesday night in the Cup. Oh, we got trouble. We got real trouble here. Big crash, turn 1. Andrew Rucker, Michael Goodman, Damian Leininger also involved. I just knew they weren't going to make it to the end without crashing. And it took about 5 crashes for the caution to come out, though. Yeah. Damian Leininger, though, that car is destroyed.
That happened in front of Blauman there.
And it looks like it starts with Rucker and Crumb in turn 1. They were battling for 11th. I don't know who to blame that on. Rucker came down, but Crump drove it in really deep into turn 1 and turned Rucker around. Man, Goodman, Blauman, Leininger all piled in really hard into that crash. Yeah, Crump made a pretty aggressive dive into turn 1, and Rucker didn't really see it coming and came down. Crump made a save, but they piled in pretty hard.
Adams thought about coming down pit road, but he stays out.
I bet you he was hoping those 2 guys in front of him would buy it and come down pit road, but those Lake Norman guys show no signs of pitting here. It's going to be a dash to the finish. We had guys 19th on back came in. Enerson, Caleb Thompson, Hatch, Key, Campbell all come down. Massey as well, who spun after the restart there. Too bad for Massey. He had a top 5 car throughout that whole run at the beginning, but the first pit stop under caution, he fell back, and that was the end of a really good run for Nick Massey, which is really too bad. It's going to be EOL on the 90 car, Scott Crump.
And got to give a shout out to Vincent Isabella. He proved us wrong. Those 2 tires have paid off so far. He actually was moved up into 5th place.
Yeah, he avoided all those wrecks, and he moved up in the world there. That was pretty impressive on 2 tires to make that happen. Vince is doing real well here on this short run, and he could be able to bring home a much better finish than what he would have gotten if he took 4. I don't really remember where he was before the pit stops, where he took 2 tires, but definitely wasn't running inside the top 5, which is where he finds himself now. We're going to have a restart with probably 6 laps to go, 7 laps to go maybe. So it's going to be a run to the finish here between Ryan Lutz and Tyler Fodey. Oh, yeah. Scott Crump is, I don't know what happened there.
I saw him take a sharp left. I don't know if it was something that happened with his wheel or I don't know what happened. But he took a sharp left into the infield and did a 360.
Oh, it definitely something going on there. Now over admin radio, they're actually going to park the 90 car. I think he was not pleased with the call for the EOL and did a little donut on the front straightaway. Something that reminds me of something Robbie Gordon would do. Kind of a Robbie Gordon-esque move there to get mad at the official call and do a donut in the grass. And Crump not happy with the call, so he has parked it now. He has been parked.
Yeah, here's what he did. That's Robbie Gordon style.
Yep. I remember one race in the Nationwide, I think it was the Nationwide at the time, now Xfinity Series. Robbie Gordon spun someone on purpose, and NASCAR parked him, I think is how the story goes, and he didn't like the call of them parking him, so he just didn't stop. He kept going, and he, I think, crossed the line first and did donuts like he won the race, and he never actually won the race. There's something like that at Montreal.
Road course. That's it. I remember that.
Yeah, that was a wild one. Robbie Gordon always was kind of like that, a little bit of a rebel. So it's good to have something like that sometimes. I mean, calls don't always go your way. I think these guys in the Elite Racing League really do some of the best job with their officiating. I mean, I've been on the bad end of a few calls myself, but in the end, I mean, it is what it is, and you get those calls for a reason. And I mean, that's the main reason when I look for a league to race in. The main thing I look for is the officiating and how these guys run the league. And these guys, Chad and Alex Balvins and Ethan Reasoner, all do a really, really good job when they're the admins of these races.
Yeah.
And, I think they do a really professional job running this whole show.
And to be very fair to them, they're being even more lenient than they've ever been. You know, it's just a situation where sometimes they get put in a tough spot and they're going to make a call that's going to frustrate somebody. It's part of racing.
Yeah, that's exactly right. I mean, there was a couple calls during this race that I was expecting an EOL to go to someone, and they ruled it a racing deal. So they're taking it easy on guys, and you're still going to get upset people. But here we come to the restart. We got Ryan Lutz, your leader. He chose the top line, trying to give his teammate Tyler Fodey some help here as we come to the green flag. But let's see if it bites him. Ryan Lutz versus Tyler Fodey here. Green flag. Lutz is going to be clear. He's got to wait till he crosses the line to come down, and he's going to wait all the way into turn one. He is clear over Fodey. Battles for third. Chris Wright and Josh Adams. Adams tried to clear, but he didn't. Chris Wright made the run out of 2, and he's there on the right rear Adams. So these guys are going to go at it as Lutz and Fodey try to drive away. Oh, crashing in the back. Scott Haney's around. Caution is going to come out. Haney involved, as well as Caleb Thompson. Mark Keeler as well, and David Carpenter all involved. That was at the rear of the field. There was a mess of guys, like 3 wide. I think a good group of cars took tires under the caution from the rear, and they were charging through guys struggling on now almost over 15-lap-old tires. So
yeah, I've got it here. Looks like Caleb Thompson's going to get into Haney.
Yeah, Scott Haney was the first guy that these guys on fresh tires were getting to. Oh, man, yeah. The 3 car was on old tires, and everybody behind him was on brand new fresh tires. So as a product of having a bunch of guys in the back take fresh tires and a bunch of guys up the front with old tires. So it's just kind of a byproduct of that situation.
It's going to give us a green light checkered, I believe.
Yeah, that's going to run us into our one and only attempt at Elite Racing League's overtime. It is 1 attempt. And if a caution comes out before the white flag, the race is ended immediately. And once we hit the white flag, there are no cautions. The incident there was a racing deal as well, so no EOLs. But yeah, 1 attempt at overtime, 1 attempt at a green-white checker, and it's Ryan Lutz, Tyler Fodey going to be controlling this restart in the front row. Also wanted to mention Josh Robin got back out here and ran, I think he came back 14 laps down. He got one of those back. He's 13 laps down in 39th. I don't know if there's going to be enough more laps run for him to get by Damian Leininger, who is currently, I think, 5 laps in front of him.
Yeah.
But Josh Robin, he hung in here and just ran the whole race. That's another thing I hate when that happens to you, whether it's a crash or whether it's an internet issue or a power issue that Josh Robin had, and just pacing around the track, looking at how many laps down the guys in front of you are. It's just terrible to be racing on your own. It's no fun like that. But he still had speed, though, which makes it a little better. It's better than running around with a damaged car in the back. I mean, he had speed and probably still got to race with some people, but not a good feeling sitting there 13 laps down.
At the same time, it goes to show the level of commitment he has to get back out here, even though he knows his race is totally over. And he'll pick up a couple of points. I know it's not a lot, but when you add it up in the grand scheme of things, it could be something that helps him out at the end of the season.
That's exactly right. He might have to use this at one of his drop weeks. You get 1 drop week throughout the season. So this regular season is 11 races, and the full season is 18. So it's a 7-race playoff, 2 rounds of 3, and then the finale at Atlanta on June 14th. So it's a long season. I mean, 11 races, and you drop 1, so your best 10 count. And next week we'll be at the Las Vegas Motor Speedway for the Bird Las Vegas, the Bird Las Vegas 150, 100 laps, 150 miles. Another relatively short race there at Las Vegas. And then we hit our first Road America for the Whitetail Smokeless 130, 32 laps at Road America. That ought to be fun. I remember we did a cup race there last season. It was a real blast. I love stock cars on road courses. It's one of my favorite types of racing. Then we got North Wilkesboro, Rockingham, Texas, Homestead, Darlington, Martinsville. And Martinsville being the regular season finale is sure to be a good show.
That's going to be chaotic. And what a wonderful, list of tracks. Just a lot of variety we got.
Yeah, it definitely is. I know last season we had 2 300-mile races be the highlights of the long races of the season. This season only one, and it was the season opener at Daytona. The season finale last season was 300 miles at Charlotte. We've cut that down to a 200-mile race at Atlanta. So we have the 200-mile race in Atlanta, 200 miles at Darlington is a fairly long race. That's a throwback race, April 12th. And May 10th at Talladega is 200 miles. But 200 miles at Talladega goes by awfully quick versus 200 miles at Darlington is going to be a long 200 miles. Here we come. Pace truck getting ready to come in. It is going to be Ryan Lutz versus his teammate Tyler Fodey. We'll see if Josh Adams or Chris Wright can do anything. It's going to be a hectic restart if the last one told us anything. Coming to the green, white checker. Only attempt. Green flag is in the air. Ryan Lutz is clear into turn 1 over his teammate Tyler Fodey. They run single file, and the battle is for third. Josh Adams got right up to the back bumper of Fodey. He had to get out of the gas. He had nowhere to go. Down the back straightaway with 2 to go. They're getting into it in the back of the field. We have one car crashed into the inside wall. No caution yet. We're going to keep it green and racing to the white flag. It's Jeff Green crashed on the back straightaway. 1 lap to go as Ryan Lutz is leading this race by a pretty healthy margin over his teammate Tyler Fodey. Josh Adams has cleared into third. They are 4 wide in the back and piling up outside of the top 15. We've got a multi-car accident back there, but never mind. Ryan Lutz out of turn number 4 is going to win the Hopegivers International 150 at Iowa, his first win of the season, and he has locked himself into the chase. 1-2 for Lake Norman Motorsports. Give it to third for Josh Adams, and man, that was quite the finish there. And look at Chad Frankenfield coming up here. Sure, he's giving his congratulations to Ryan Lutz, the winner. Frankenfield came home in 8th. Look at Vincent Isabella on that, and I believe was a 2-tire strategy.
Yeah, paid
came
off.
Home 5th. Great run there by Vince. P5 in the number 5. So really good run there, but Ryan Lutz going to do donuts there on the front straightaway. Really strong run there by the 36. Led easily the most laps. I think he only got passed once throughout that entire race. And it was by R.C. Enerson there when we had that 80-lap run to start the race. But really another strong, dominating performance by our Elite Racing League short track best driver for sure. And we're going to look at the results here on your screen.
Yeah, we'll get them refreshed here. There we
And
go.
there is your top 10. We'll run through the results there. But Ryan Lutz has won at Iowa in the Hopegivers International 150. We're going to get a word from your top 3 in just a moment once we go through your field here. And again, next week is Las Vegas. That is the last short track until North Wilkesboro on March 15th. And then Martinsville on April 19th. The 2 other short tracks in the regular season. And then we have the Bristol night race in May, as well as Phoenix, which I guess kind of counts as a short track. Those are the short tracks left on the schedule, but next week we head to the first 1.5 mile race of the season at Las Vegas. But we're going to dive right into it here and bring up your race winner, Ryan Lutz. Ryan Lutz, it's Ryan Gavel up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yes, sir.
Well, Lutzy, you got it done, man. You dominated this race for the most part. You had a little bit of a challenge by R.C. Enerson there when we went on that long green flag run through the beginning of the race. But how did it play out in your hands there? How do you think you were going to finish once that run was going through? Just how did your race go from your perspective?
I thought I actually missed practice. I only got like 5 minutes of practice. Just got off a Zoom meeting with my business guy, so I didn't really get much of practice. And I know we had a good car. I did a couple laps of practice, and then we put it on the pole. I didn't even think it was that good of a lap, to be honest with you. And luckily, it held up for a pole, and I didn't really know what to expect firing off. You know, we were snug, and this place is always tough on the right front. And I didn't do that good of a job on the right front as much as RC did. He had a really good long run car there. I know Fodey was coming too, and I just didn't really save and didn't have the balance enough on that first run. But like I always say, man, when someone drives by you and you're watching them, you learn. And once RC drove by me, I figured out what I was doing wrong, and we put it to that the second half of the race, and we didn't have quite the long run. We had a little bit, but I thought we were certainly better the second half of the race, and we were just able to hold on.
Now, even though you restarted second behind RC after that long run, were you confident that you had the short run speed to pass him, or did you think maybe it was so hard to pass at this place that maybe he's going to have a real good shot at winning this thing? You weren't going to have that good of that easy of a time getting by him. I mean, you showed that it was easy, but what were you thinking before that restart after the long run?
I just thought that to get to the point as quick as you can and just let the cards fall where they fall. I know we had a good short run car. We were good for about 30 laps. No one could touch us for 30 laps, and then they started being a little like a half a tenth better to a tenth better than us. But I knew just get track position and just hold on. What I always say is I like to control my own destiny, and I know going to the point that was going to be the case to win it. So we just got to the point as quick as we could, and the cards just fell just right.
Yeah, it was definitely a really strong race by you. Now, heading into Las Vegas next week, how do you think you're going to run there, 100 laps at Las Vegas?
We always struggle at mile and a half, but we've been getting better. We've been doing homework on them, and hopefully we can have a good run there.
Well, definitely a good start to your season. Only your second race this season, and you pick up a second and a first, so you are locked into the chase now. And heading into Las Vegas next week, hopefully you're back up here in the booth talking to us afterwards. Congratulations on the win. Anyone you want to thank or any shout-outs you want to make here?
Thanks to everyone at Lead. Chad puts an awesome race on. You, Ryan, and Jordan do a tremendous broadcast every Monday night. And just thanks to Michael Goodman at Mrs. Goodies Goodies. This is their first time going to Victory Lane, so with me at least. And it's definitely cool. I knew it was going to be a fun season when she came on board, so hopefully she's watching. And just everyone at Lake Norman, I thought Fodey it was another 1-2 for us, so it was a good night. We all had great runs there. Damien didn't have that much of a luck, but just everyone that puts time in. Chris Delbeck, we have PFC brakes on the car. They're always pretty cool. Just Spotter Wilkes for sponsoring my Cup Series deal, and just everyone that puts this on, man. It's always fun to come out Monday nights.
And again, congratulations on the first win of the season for you, Mr. Ryan Lutz, and we'll get to see you out on the track again next week, and also tomorrow night at Gateway, and on Wednesday night in the Cup Series.
Also, shout out to my girlfriend too; she's always watching.
Well, congratulations on the win. All right, well, that was your winner, Ryan Lutz, and now we are going to move on to second place finisher Tyler Fodey. Tyler Fodey, Ryan Gable up here in the booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, buddy.
All right, Mr. Fodey, you had a pretty solid run there. I mean, that first run was really impressive watching you work from starting 27th, working your way all the way up well inside the top 10. I think you might have even gotten the top 5 there before the first caution flew. I mean, that long run car was really impressive. Tell me about that first stint and that whole race overall.
Yeah, I think we did end up getting to 5th by the time the first yellow came out. Yeah, dude, that thing was on rails. I mean, qualifying speed, I had no idea what I was doing, but I figured once we got in the race and I started seeing where everyone was running, I could figure out how to be a little faster. And I'm surprised. I mean, I was running the third line in 3 and 4 the entire race on the long runs, and no one was doing it. And it was really shocking to me because I feel like the right front was getting killed when all those guys were cutting it down low. So, no, just being patient and letting the laps run their course and knowing that I'd have the better car. And it was fun. It's probably the most entertaining race, I think, that I've had coming up through there. And, then in the end, just trying to manage our track position and get what we could.
Now, tell me about, on the late restart, you got into R.C. Enerson. Tell me about that contact there.
Yeah, we talked about it. I hate it for him. It was close racing, closing laps, and he wasn't giving me any room down there, and I certainly wasn't going to give him too much room either. And really, in the end there, I pushed up a little bit more than I probably should have and made a little contact. Just hate it for him. But, we talked about it, so we're all good here.
Yeah, still a really solid run. You definitely drove a really strong race, and really good start to the season with a second place finish, a win, and a sixth place finish. Very, very strong start. Both you and Lutz has a 1 and a 2 here to start the season. And of course, you're already locked into the chase. But now looking ahead to next week, Las Vegas, the mile and a half, kind of in your wheelhouse there. How do you think you'll fare heading into next week?
Really good. I was happy with the Daytona run. I knew we'd be good there. Michigan, I knew I'd kind of struggle, and I wasn't really a fan of that. And even tonight, I wasn't looking forward to it. So actually going to a track that I like now, we should fare pretty well, I'd say.
Well, that sounds good. And is there anyone you want to thank? Any shout-outs you want to make here heading in next week at Las Vegas?
Yeah, the team, Lake Norman, as always. Awesome run tonight. Got the 1-2. Got to shout out my dad watching back home. Sure, that was an entertaining view for him. Got to thank new main sponsor, Days Gone By. Check them out for all your vintage apparel. And also Blue Egg Marketing, as always, for being on board. Thanks to you and Jordan for doing this. I'm sure it'll be great watching it back. And thanks to Elite and the Elite Racing Network.
Well, congratulations on the runner-up finish, and hopefully we'll be talking to you again next week at Las Vegas.
Yeah, sounds good.
Well, there's your runner-up, Tyler Fodey, and I want to thank everybody for watching here tonight on the Elite Racing Network. That was race number 3 for the season, the Hopegivers International 150 at Iowa Speedway. Well, I'm Ryan Gable, and for Jordan Owens, we're going to sign off here. That was the SMRI Productions Grand National Series. Congratulations again to race winner Ryan Lutz, and we're heading to Las Vegas next week, March 1st, same time, same place here on the Elite Racing Network on YouTube.